All right. We made it, folks. It's that simple, really. We are here at the kickoff, the day before, I guess you can say, the eve of NFL kickoff. Christian, we already experienced one weekend of football. College pretty much gave us a tease of what is expected to come. Boy, oh boy, it was already a hell of a ride for the start of for the start of the game, really. How are you feeling, man? I'm just at a loss of words. This is an amazing moment right now that we're having. It's just unbelievable. We made it. That's all I can really say. We actually absolutely made it.
It's like a little kid waiting for Christmas or Santa to come and drop your presents of excitement. We made it after so long that we thought we weren't going to get it again. Here we are. They have us by the throat. They have our seats in the butt. They have our money to gamble along. It's another season upon us, and I'm so happy. I could cry.
I mean, honestly, yeah. Yeah, it's been that long, folks. I mean, for some of us, basketball season actually went a little bit longer than expected, but hey, both of us here, at least at the table right now, did not have the seasons that we were anticipating. We wanted the whole trophy there, and here we are. We got another chance at glory, folks. We are going to be having hopefully Colby coming on to the show later, and we're also looking to have potentially another guest, and that'll be a surprise guest. We'll keep it for that for now. So Christian. I mean, we might as well get into this. All the business has been settled, even with the 49ers finally wrapping up their business and stuff. It's time that everyone put their attention to the game up front. It is time to talk about the NFL kickoff game. The Chiefs unveiling a banner that they won going through you. And you guys are coming into their town and their house. Here we go, Christian. The first game of the season, Ravens at Chiefs, and the Chiefs are 3-point favorites. What are your thoughts, Christian?
It's just going to be one of those where I wake up tomorrow going, I'm excited for football. God, we got to play Patrick first. It's better to get it straight out the gate. I honestly think, try to catch him off guard, as we saw in the Detroit Lions game last year. Just try to get him, get the cold feet out there. I'm excited. The team's really good. Like, I don't understand the media talking points of like, oh, they've lost key players. Like, we lost like second stringers, third stringers. Like, what are we talking about here? We didn't lose really too much core features. All right, Patrick Queen. All right, he's a softie. All right, he's off to the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, cool. We got Trenton system popping out from Clemson. Love that guy. Safeties. I mean, Kyle Hamilton, arguably, I honestly think is one of the top five defensive players in the league that doesn't get talked about enough. The guy is analytical. I mean, he went to Notre Dame for a reason. So then we have offense here. We have our brand new shiny car in the backfield with Lamar Jackson. King Henry is in the backfield. He's just one of those players you look at and you're like, that guy was meant to be a Raven. And we're going to see that when he scores a touchdown. As I mentioned on last episode, he is my official Dare Do, kind of celebratory kickoff pick. I mean, this is not going to happen like every Thursday night, but this is really your celebratory kickoff. So he was minus 120. I believe 2 days ago. It's at minus 115 now. I would wait probably till tomorrow until maybe it drops to minus 110 and then take it. Um, so that's typically how the lines go with touchdown scores. I've noticed in the past they tend to really go upwards as the closer it gets to the game, which you would find particularly odd. You feel like you would get a much better price. Um, so I'm excited. I mean, Lamar statistically has always done well as an underdog. I mean, I'm pretty sure he is almost about 14-2 against the spread as an underdog. So you know what? Bet your money. Give me the Ravens +3 here. And also a cheeky little touchdown play here, as everyone likes hearing these little long shots here. Rashad Bateman has been the talk of the off season. I mean, it's been rather loud for him. He's had injury riddle seasons, but when he's healthy, the guy is an electric wide receiver. Like he has the potential to be a really true great support wide receiver. He's not going to, making your wide receiver one numbers, but he's your true chain mover. I mean, his first year when he was healthy, he averaged 10 yards a catch. He was literally going all over the place. So I'm excited for Bateman. He's at plus 400. So I would always take a little sneaky little flyer on him to score. Hopefully, training camp noise comes out.
Christian, that is honestly very well said, as always. Very well spoken about your Ravens. However, I'm not coming in here to throw a counterpoint because I agree with everything you said, but I'm just going to take on to another approach. I just wanted to say that I think the Ravens will win this game, not because of Mahomes slipping up. I think that part won't matter in this case. If he shows up, I think that's going to be awesome. I think this game would be electric. I'm seeing it as the Ravens +3. Also, they should be able to keep up with the Chiefs offense and maybe more. I expect them to keep up and do more. So I'm leading the Ravens just because I think their offense is going to be right up there with them, top 5, top 3 this season. So I think it's going to be an exciting watch tomorrow. And I just rooting for the cover is just a great move from my part. If I think. And now, folks, without further ado, it's time to announce our surprise guest making his return in a long time. Going to be our boy Lou. Lou, bringing it back. I wish I had like an applaud feature and everything, but welcome back, Lou. Here's the show. You already got a good glimpse of what you're going to be dealing with here, but we got the NFL kickoff started. First of all, if you want to talk about how you feel about just being a Falcons fan in this whole situation in the NFL kickoff, this might actually be rare air for you.
Yeah, it's been a rough six, 6 since the old Super Bowl against the Patriots. We actually did make the playoffs the next year, so it wasn't all bad.
Hold that
But
to the fire.
it's been a nice downward spiral since then. So it's good to have some life injected back into the team. Love trading for Judon and signing Justin Simmons. I think that's two big names who are going to put out for our defense. They're going to be veteran leaders to the young guys. And I think our defense has a chance to be a top 5, top 10 unit this year if they play to their potential. A little worried about cornerbacks after AJ Terrell, but we'll see what happens. Offensively, though, I think we could have a special offense. If Kirk stays healthy and he plays like he did before he got hurt, or even close to that, I mean, he's got the weapons because we know what Bijan can do when we give him the ball. Drake London, I mean, not a lot of people watched the Falcons the past few years, understandably so, but I mean, the dude's a baller. He's gonna have a good year. I don't know about Kyle Pitts yet. I mean, I love the guy, but
He has questionable news right now and everything, but don't worry. I want to ask you to hold that thought just because your game is going to be pretty much one of the first games we're talking about on the Sunday slate. But we already started one game, and that is Baltimore. Have you seen the line?
+3 for the Ravens.
Yes. And what are your thoughts on the game so far? What are your thoughts going to be on that game?
I think it's a great first game. I think on paper, gosh, I don't even know if that I want to say on paper the Ravens are a better team overall, like more well-rounded across the board. The Patrick Mahomes effect makes it tough, but he plays like Kirk Cousins in prime time during week 1 games. I mean, the man just isn't a week 1 winner. So I'm not gonna lie, I picked the Chiefs money line because it's an Arrowhead. But if I was to bet on this game, which I most likely will, I think Ravens +3 is too good of a bet to pass up. I mean, all you're asking for is one of the best teams in the league to cover a field goal. So,
and they got one of the best field goal kickers. So it all adds up, if you ask me. All right. So already off the bat, since Colby's not here, and he probably would have been the only voice of reason, we are kicking off the NFL season with a nice and convenient squad ride. What can go wrong? What can actually go wrong? The only way this squad ride stops is if Colby comes on here and says his lock is the Chiefs. That's literally the only way that squad ride crashes. All right. Coming on to the second game, which is actually not on a Sunday. It's going to be on a Friday, folks. And we're going to Brazil for anyone that has been living under a rock. Yes, this game is going to be played in Brazil, and it's played on a Friday night. So all the college games, I think all of them are going to be pushed to a Saturday, unless you're not that big of a school. So Packers at Eagles. The Eagles are 2.5 point favorites. I'm going to go ahead and take the headstrong on this one here, folks. I mean, these are two teams that I absolutely despise. I cannot stand that this is the freaking Friday. This is one of the first Friday games of the season. One of two, actually. And it's the Packers and Eagles. I mean, come on. Okay. If I had to choose a team that I want to pick, I feel like this one would be an easy one for me to set up myself for another underdog pick here with the Packers. I mean, they're coming in as a well-rounded team. I feel like their game might be more easy to come over and produce over there. However, the Eagles, man, I still feel I'm going to ride and die with this take. They're going to bring you the same type of football. I think we already know what they're going to do. They're just going to run it down our throats with Saquon as much as they can. And then once or twice, they're going to hit him over the top. And everyone's going to be like, oh, look at A.J. Brown. Look at Devontae Smith. So such an elite team. Even though they don't have Jason Kelce anymore, I still think the Eagles will be just fine on offense. So I'm going to go with the Eagles here, -2.5. I'll take the first favorite of the night. Let's go. Let's hand it to the Philly representative, actually. Give Christian a little. I want to see Christian playing on the downside. Let's give it to our Philly representative, Lou.
Jeez. This is a tough game to pick. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at it earlier today because I love the Packers this year, and I drafted Jordan Love in one of my fantasy leagues, and I also have Jaden
That's a poor
Reed.
decision.
I have Jaden Reed in multiple fantasy leagues, so I'm not only high on them, but I need them to perform.
Very invested, and that's a
I
poor
think
decision.
this will be a higher scoring game. I think the Eagles defense was terrible at the end of last year, and I don't think they did that much to make it better. Um, and I think the Packers will put up points, but I also think the Eagles' offense is electric. And so I'm looking at a higher scoring game. Maybe one team gets into the 30s, but it's hard to bet against the Eagles. I think they've got a lot of hype behind them right now coming into week one, and I think they're an early season team, and they're going to come out and get the dub. So give me the Eagles -2.5.
I like the whole early season approach there. All right, Christian, I made you wait just because I wanted to see if that'll stop you on your takes here, because you are, of course, our favorite again for this segment. So I'm just trying my best to make the competition interesting. What do you got?
Well, I'll be the voice of reason here. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles. They didn't really do much in the offseason. They had they blew up in the ball flames last year. And obviously, a lot of internal drama has happened with Sirianni, Jalen Hurts. It's just not something you want to hear out of your coach and quarterback. I don't care if that's squashed over. That's still something there. And you replace both of the coordinators on both sides of the ball here. And also, you lost James Bradbury, even though, I mean, yes, James Bradbury he's buns, so you can make an argument he might make the secondary worse. The secondary still lost someone here. In Green Bay, on the other side of things, they ended the season pretty strong and arguably should have beat the Niners in that divisional round. They have a bunch of wide receiver twos on their team. They don't have a true number one, which is pretty good because that's good, solid options to have itself. Josh Jacobs has been added to the team, and also we're forgetting this game is in Brazil. This game is in Brazil. That I think is going to be a complete wild card here. And Jalen Hurts did lose his number one of Jason Kelce, and I think that is going to play an extreme factor here. Do we know what Brazil's on? Are they on turf? Are they on grass? Like, these boys might be slipping everywhere. I can see this whole scenario of them complaining about the field atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to write
That's hilarious.
Let's slip in. So I'm going to ride the hot hand right off the end of the season. Give me the Packers and the points at +2.5.
I hate to say it, that was a really good voice of reason right there. You were actually pulling. That was a really good argument. Uh, to be honest, that was the main reason why I was leaning towards the Packers too. Was actually their defensive line. I write the whole hype around them right now, and people having Rashawn Gary having a big season this year. So I can see it. I can definitely see the upset and everything. Oh, Lou, did you have anything to say before we move on?
Um, just that Chandler and I will be watching that game on a 7-hour drive to New York Friday night, so that'll be my
Amazing.
entertainment for the trip.
I hope you guys bet as much lines as you can to keep you guys occupied as well. I'm talking first quarter spreads. I'm talking right in the first quarter lines, second quarter lines.
Dude, I might have to keep myself busy and entertained.
If I'm not mistaken, I think every state on the way there except New Jersey allows sports gambling. So I think you might be good either way with the
Does New
Wow,
gambling.
every
Jersey
each
really
state
not?
have to go through their rules.
I don't think New Jersey has sports book.
I'm
I
gonna
could be
have to look
completely
into
wrong on
this
that, but
because
I
I'm
think
going
they're
to the
good all the
Mets
way.
Reds games, and I'm definitely gonna be betting on it. That's
Anyways,
that's the point, though.
yeah, there you go. Anyways, it's time for the Sunday night slate. Lou, I had you hold your thoughts for a second there because at the time of this recording, the Steelers are underdogs going into Atlanta, as Atlanta are 3.5 point favorites against the Steelers. Well, oh well, my oh my, if only we had our Steelers guy. But we don't. We have the Atlanta guy. So we got Lou. Lou, what are your thoughts on this game? And you're gonna go ahead and kick us off on our good Sunday afternoon slate. Holy, that's different to say. I used to be watching Sunday 1 o'clock games at 11. It's gonna take some getting used to. But 1 o'clock, what
I'll
are you feeling, Lou?
I'll start by complimenting the opposition. Um, I have George Pickens in fantasy, and I'd really like for him to go for about 150 yards and no touchdowns and like 3 fumbles. But I think George Pickens is going to step into his own as the wide receiver one on that team, even though he's got a cooked Russell Wilson throwing him the ball. And I think Justin Fields is going to take over that team a little over halfway into the season when they're sitting there at like 2-6. Their defense is going to be good. It's always good. It's well schemed, well coached. So I don't think it'll be a crazy high scoring game, but like I was saying earlier, our defense is loaded this year compared to other years. I don't want to get myself too excited because Falcons defenses are notoriously bad, but it was an improved unit last year. We had some big signings. I'm looking for them to take a step in the right direction. And I think offensively we have the weapons to overmatch the Steelers defense. So I think 3.5 is a pretty low spread for what I think is a wide gap in total talent. Not to
Wow.
mention the fact that it's in Mercedes-Benz coming into the year with a lot of hype. That place is going to be rocking. So yeah, give me the Falcons. -6.5 by a touch.
Oh, up in the line. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. It's really hard to play devil's advocate, folks, when you're talking about this quarterback situation going on in Pittsburgh. I would love to see Russell Wilson put out an amazing game and hit up George Pickens, but that would just be pretty ironic just because, your boy had George Pickens for 2 years of his whole career, both of his years of his whole career, and he pops off with you, Lou. I will be pretty spiteful. Not gonna lie, I'll be pretty salty. But and whoever has Pat Fryermuth as well. I supported both of those guys their entire careers, and if they pop off the year that I let them go, there's going to be some hate mail coming their way. Um, but right now, like I said, looking at the Steelers, they're going to have a solid defense, and you know that Atlanta has a great offense. So you have to sit there and be like, okay, which one's going to break first? And in my estimation, Lou, this isn't a primetime game. This isn't at 4 o'clock. No,
Sure.
this is Kirk Cousins now in the fucking Bible Belt. Oh my God, at the Bible Belt area with 1 o'clock. His powers might be magnified even more than we've ever seen before. Even though there's no Chick-fil-A on a Sunday, give me Atlanta as well. I'll take Atlanta and the 3 points. 3.5 points, sorry.
Oh God, why did you have to do that?
It's Kirk Cousins. I can't leave him yet. All right. I just can't. I can't see myself picking the Steelers at the moment.
uh, I'll just say this up front. I'm taking Falcons by 3.5 here. Do have a lot of worry here, like a lot, with especially with the front seven on the Falcons not being able to stop the run. I mean, and then also Kirk is technically playing his first game back. He didn't play anything the preseason. This will be his first half of playing football coming off a torn Achilles. I would take his under on passing yards in the first half because this is probably a slow start here, but there is a player on that backfield that the Falcons need to feed if they do want to win this game here. And it's really their most electrifying player here. I mean, you have to feed Bijan. You have to feed if you want to get rid of the complete stigma that the Falcons has had these past couple of years, starting with Arthur Smith, somehow hating this man and not giving him the ball, especially in the red zone. You got to do this here. You have to establish here because we're looking at a potential fraud bowl here at week 1 between these two teams. Because I can see a very heavy bias coming out of this game on whatever team loses. The media is going to run with it if the Falcons lose, and they'll be like, "Oh, this experiment's over. It's over." And then also the Steelers' point of view, if they lose, "Oh, Russ is over. Put in Justin Fields already." Like there is just so many implications that can come out of this. That is wild cards, but it is at Mercedes Benz. I'm gonna ride the Falcons hype for now.
Oh,
But we'll get on the train. Hopefully so, because I do have nice outlook on the Falcon season. If it goes as anticipated.
well, we'll get to another team that I think might be a thorn in the Falcons side here in a little bit. But right now, it's very scary, folks, how we're already at 2 squad rides. That is very concerning. So we gotta be on that. We gotta make sure you pay attention to that because maybe who knows, maybe the tides have turned and our squad rides are gonna be good this season. But typically, no. Just be on the lookout. All right, next one. We're gonna go ahead and go to a game that a lot of people seem to actually already found the line for, apparently. This is our first game that actually is a touchdown line, and it is the Titans at Chicago. The Bears having a 4.5 point favorite line. That means they need the touchdown to win, essentially. Oh, man. If only I had another reasonable voice in my head to stop me from not picking the Bears. But there's an interesting graphic going around about number 1 QBs not winning their first games.
I do have the stat ready to go here if you need the stat.
Yeah, there's that stat, sure. Maybe this Caleb Williams guy is special, maybe. But you know what? Why not the Titans? Why not? Why not the Titans, right? I mean, what do they got to lose? What have we got? Let's think about it. I mean, they're coming in with a new coach. I mean, he's an offensive-minded
Jalen,
guy.
can you name 3 players outside of Tajay Spear, Will Levis, and Tony Pollard and D Hop? Can you name 3
Oh,
players
that's
outside of that?
okay. Well, you got Will. Did you say Will Levis is off that
Yeah,
list? Oh,
Will
crap.
Levis is off that list.
They don't have
Well,
Malik Willis anymore, too.
I forgot. I think his name was. I think they're the ones that have Traylon Burks and everything. So that's probably the only
Oh,
player I can
that
think.
bum! I forgot about that bum.
He's not a bum. He's a
Let me
real receiver. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to ride with that. But yes, you bring up a strong argument. They're bringing out a new revamped team and everything. Can't name a lick of Oh, I forgot who his name was. Damn, he was on the Rich Eisen show not too long ago. I think you actually said I couldn't say his name. Jeffrey Simmons, the defensive lineman. He's like
That's one.
literally their
All right,
defensive
you need one
star.
more.
I wish they had their good safety still.
Yeah, he's gone.
Anyways, I'm going to give up on that challenge. And I'm going to ride with the Titans anyways. Ride with the Titans anyways. Like I said, I feel like they're going in an interesting spot here. I want to test this Bears hype anyways. Titans covering 4.5. I definitely can see that. Give me the Titans.
Yeah. I agree. And to Christian's point, the Titans also have a bad man named Calvin Ridley on their team this year.
Oh, there it
I
is.
forgot.
Calvin Ridley, the third player.
And Will Levis is a gunslinger. He is a gunslinger, and he is going to chuck it up to D-Hop and Ridley. And I think they're going to ball out. I mean, I'm excited to see what the Bears can do. I think Caleb Williams is going to be a solid, if not above average quarterback, at least this year. I think the Bears are going to be a lot better than they have looked with Justin Fields. But man, there's something in my nuts about Will Levis slinging it to D Hop and Ridley against a rookie quarterback. Um, I think the Titans pull it out. I do.
All right. Got you there.
I will prevent the squad ride. This one does not deserve a squad ride. We are not doing this for a Titans Bears game. But the statistic you were looking for, Jalen, since 1970, there have been 27 quarterbacks drafted number one overall. In their first start, they are 4-22-1 straight up, and 7-20 against the spread. So not a good statistic for first overall pick quarterbacks. But I'm going to have to go against the statistic and just drink the Kool-Aid of Chicago Bears, have turned things around there. But I will have that statistic in my back of my head that entire game. So, you know what? The Bears actually gave weapons, unlike what they did with Justin Fields. They actually made a team around Caleb Williams here to have a start. We'll see how it goes, but give me the Bears -4.5.
There we go. A little sensibility there and saving us from another squad ride.
Ooh,
But
I was nervous.
I mean, there's just a lot more to like on the Bear side of things as well. I mean, they got a lot of hype, like you said, a lot of Kool-Aid to drink for sure right now. And Christian, you could easily become the bandwagon guy for the Bears on here. I mean, you could easily buy into that, right?
Yeah. It could easily be a typical bandwagon on this side of things, but I have been throughout the years one of Caleb Williams for his biggest critics. So you know what? We'll just see how this season goes. It has to be in a couple weeks.
We'll wait one more. We'll wait one more season. All right. Moving on to the next one. We got a battle in the Everglades. I don't know if Miami actually counts as the Everglades, actually. Or Florida might need to check me on that one. But we got Jacksonville at Miami. The Dolphins are the 3.5-point favorite. Oh man, this is another game that actually really grinds my gears. Let me tell you, folks. It's not in a bad way either. I love Mike McDaniels, not Josh McDaniels, Mike McDaniels. Goodness, that Josh McDaniels Kool-Aid that was just a fun one to throw at the wall. But Mike McDaniels has been a fun one to just chug. I'm going to go ahead and say easily the Dolphins will cover this line. And I'm not afraid, mostly because of the people that know that I put the Jaguars as my favorite last season to come out the AFC, and they burned me so bad. I'm not afraid of the revenge tour that they could be on. I think the Dolphins are out there on a mission. I think this year the Dolphins have their mind set on that one seed, so they don't have to go anywhere. I thought it was a joke, but I'm buying into it. I'm going with Dolphins are the favorites for this game.
Yeah, I agree. I hate that I keep agreeing with Jalen, and
I'll let you go
eventually
first on the
this
next one.
train has to stop. But I'm just not impressed with the Jaguars. I think Brian Thomas is a dog, but gosh, I just don't think they have the offensive firepower to keep up with a team like Miami. They've got three running backs now that can take the top off of defense and just, gosh, I mean, we saw what Achan and Mostert did last year. Um, and then they have arguably the best wide receiver in all of football, Tyreek Hill. So no one's guarding that man. So yeah, I don't know. In Miami, Miami likes to play in warm states, and it is September, my friends, and it's still 70 degrees out, and in Miami, it's probably 80s. maybe
That would
90s.
be insane.
So I just think Tua leads the Dolphins to a victory. That's that's all I had to
Uh,
say.
oh God. I really was hoping Jalen was going to take the Jaguars like usual here, so he don't squad right on this one. I
Oh, Mike
really think he
McDaniels,
was.
come on
I
now.
I really thought you were going to still drink that Jaguars hate Kool-Aid that it has. This little Jags. But it is the Dolphins in hot weather. So that is my big factor here. Dolphins have covered 7 of the last 8 games of September. So we're just gonna have to ride these boys in the hot weather, and hopefully Tyreek doesn't pull a hammy. Because when it gets hot, his hammy tends to start popping out at random points, and he's back in the game, but we'll see. Give me the Dolphins -3.5.
I'll always be saved by a random Colby Johnson take. I mean, he can always come in here and spout out some random BS and actually surprise us and destroy some squad rides. But I highly doubt it. I feel like he would also be actually, I think he said he was pretty high on the Jags this year, so it could have been what could have been, right? But I can't speak for him. The only thing I can speak for is they burned me so bad. This is the only thing I can have say very positive for him is that they do get Christian Kirk back. And if I want to give them a fighting argument, they are getting Christian Kirk back. Defense should be a little bit better, I feel like. Maybe.
Secondary is not that hot for the Jags.
Exactly. That's what I'm feeling like right now. I know their secondary is not much to talk about besides, they got Miles Jack at the linebacker position. Or no, it's
Miles
actually
Jack.
not that. It's like Josh Allen
There's
Robinson.
no way Miles Jack is still on that team.
Yeah, wrong player. It's Josh Allen Robinson.
Josh
It's the guy
Allen,
that
yeah.
yeah, Josh Allen Robinson. So wrong name, but same name change.
First of all, quick question: does anyone remember who the #1 overall draft pick the Jaguars made last year was, or not last year, 2 years ago, whatever it was?
That
Does
would
anyone
be
remember the name?
no, I don't.
Oh, wait. The number one overall pick?
The #1 overall pick. Does anyone?
ETN? No way that went ETN at number
No, it
one.
was not Travis Etienne. It was
The fact that no one can name on the top of their head speaks volumes of how this guy
it
came out
wasn't
of
it
nowhere.
it was
It was not Aiden Hutchinson. It was
what the fuck was his name? Kalavon Chason?
nope. It was Trayvon Walker. If any,
That's right.
yeah. So he actually had a solid season last year. He actually had. He didn't really do
Remind
Trayvon.
me.
bad. So you know what? Well, so hopefully maybe he makes a name for himself. Good luck to the kid, but he is not the most known #1 all draft pick, and will be a trivia question here in the next couple of years.
He'd stump some people, obviously. It would stump him. But maybe he can turn it around. You never know. It's only been what, 2 years? All right. Looks like no one has much positive things to say for the Jaguars at the moment. So we're going to move on to the next game, and that's going to be the Patriots at the Bengals. This is our next touchdown line here.
Godly.
Oh, they're laughing. I hear someone laughing. We'll let on everything. Lou, I did say that you get the first one, and it's your boy, Joe Burrow. He's going to be over here. Bengals -8.5. Are you willing to dive that deep for the Bengals?
Yes, dude. The Patriots are going to be the worst team in the NFL this year. And until they play Drake May, I'm probably not going to even look their direction as far as betting. They
Oh,
suck.
well,
They're going to get blown out. Jamar Chase is going to feast. I don't care how good their defense has been in past years. I don't. I think the Bengals will struggle to start the year too. I really do. I don't think they're going to be some sort of powerhouse juggernaut just with Burrow missing a lot of last year, getting back in the swing of things. And um, yeah, but I think I'm going to be betting against the Bengals in future games, but not this one. Patriots suck.
oh man. Christian, I'll let you talk about the Bengals. I'll let Lou get around this real quick. You can get a taste of it.
Oh,
You can
these
get a
freaking guys,
taste.
dude. It's been too goddamn long without
About a
these freaking
cornball. I mean, this
cornballs.
is really tough. They had the most corniest off
Yeah,
season of all
I mean,
time, if you ask
the
me.
guy bleached his hair to be a wannabe Slim Shady Cody Rhodes looking guy. That guy that just screams loser. Like the
But
guy
go,
lost all of his aura, 1000%. You cannot look at that and tell me that's still aura. And then you have the whole contract situation with Jamar Chase still in the back of his head, knowing he has no security if he is to get injured. And then you have the other side of the ball with T. Higgins, who still doesn't have a contract. You have the cheapest owner in the league. You have to cross the street to get from your team facility to get to the practice field. What kind of mockery is this? The Bengals always tend to start slow with Joe Burrow, and that is also bearing Joe Burrow's injury prone. So maybe he tweaks something else again. You know, I've been early on discussion. He's an injury pro quarterback, and no one wants to listen to me. Let's see how this plays out in the beginning of the season. This game screams crap game. And you know what? I'll even say it. My survivor pick is the Bengals. You know what? I'll sit here pretty happy if the Bengals get upset by the Patriots here week one, and I take an L on my survivor pick week. This screams trap all over. Everyone and their mothers are on the Bengals for their survivor pick right now. You mean it will tell me that wouldn't have a bang out the game with this? Give me the Patriots plus 8.5. I think this is going to be a slow, disgusting game where the mini emergency bunnies start popping up for Bengals fans. And also, a loss of Joe Mixon here is going to be very more significant than I think people are giving more credit. Who in the world is Zach Moss that was a third stringer on the Colts? Oh, great,
The
buddy. You're
dog.
RB1 now. And they got Chase Brown. Who in the world is Chase Brown going to be taking off the kick returns? Like I said, we'll be here the following week here when the Patriots cover here. Bengals probably squeeze us one out, but I think this is going to be a lot more of a cheekier game than people anticipate. And the Patriots will still have the worst, I think, win total out of the entire year. But however, they will be in fights, and I think they cover spreads.
oh, well, you had a lot of courage picking the Bengals on this podcast. Some would call you reasonable. Others, like I said, will call you bold. You just today joined the podcast where they're going to call you bold. The reasonable one obviously is not here. He would probably be the only other voice of reason, but I'm also taking the Patriots to cover here. All right, listen, hear me out, folks. I said Jacoby Brissett's only good for 4 games, and then things are going to get a little dicey. These are going to be some interesting 4 games. Going to be some really interesting 4 games. An 8.5 on week one is a huge line to cover. I think just to begin with on that, it's just Patriots, in my opinion, is the move. But the other half of this is Jamar Chase just showed up to practice literally today. Like Christian was saying, all this drama and stuff going on in the offseason. I said it. It's been a very corny offseason, if you ask me. It really plays up to their cornball status that we say on this podcast. So it really all goes hand in hand. It's been very, very hard to watch, if you ask me, to watch what's been going on in Cincinnati. I mean, you have to remember, like you said, Christian, one of the cheapest owners in the league, and Jamar Chase is out here asking for $1 more than Justin Jefferson's contract. I fucking laughed when I heard that. I was like, "Are you sure about that? Are you really sure you're gonna get that?" I think, especially when you have 2 years left on your contract right now, bold, but. Lou, I'm not criticizing your intelligence. I'm just going with my heart. I think the Patriots here are definitely going to be the cover for this game. And we avoid a squad ride. So it all goes hand in hand.
Does.
Lou, I promise this next one won't be as aggressive. I promise. Depending on what you say, of course, because this one's going to be Texans at Indiana. And boy, oh boy, there's been a lot of questionable hype going on in Indiana. That is why they are our first home underdog of the season that we are talking about. No pressure or nothing, Lou. Texans at Colts.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not impressed with the Colts as a team. I think Michael Pittman's solid. But gosh, Anthony Richardson is just he's so mid. He could run. I'll give him that, but he did not impress me in limited action last year. Which, granted, he's young, so maybe he gets better, but I don't know. I think the Texans are loaded, and I think the Colts defense is not going to have an answer for C.J. Stroud slinging it to Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Stephon Diggs, who, by the way, is not a very happy camper because people are telling him he's washed. So I think he's going to come out and play with a chip on his shoulder. I don't think he's going to be prime Stephon Diggs, but I think he's still going to be a solid piece of that offense. And to Christian's point, they just signed Joe Mixon. So that's a pretty solid running back to add to that wide receiving core. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'll leave it at that. Texans.
Right. Christian?
So before I go forward, this does have many trap game on here. Just mini, just a small mini. There, a lot of
Great.
hype with the Texans is scaring me a little. I understand both sides are getting hype. The Texans have gained a lot of hype with the additions, which is warrant. But there's just that piece of me that always thinks about that. But to give a stat out here, the Colts are the only team in the NFL who haven't won a week one game in over 10 seasons. They're 0-9-1 in week one against straight up.
Tragic. That is truly
And
tragic.
that one is a tie, if you remember, and that tie was against the Texans about, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. Home underdog. Anthony Richardson, I honestly put in the same category of Jacoby Brissett, as Jalen alluded earlier. You'll get three games out of him, before possibly he hurts himself. And I mean, we've seen all those games at Florida that he played. Like, do we know if he has the electric upside? But do we actually know he can do the rest of what is needed? I don't think so. So give me the Texans with their spread, with everything going on. But I wouldn't be shocked if it goes that way.
That season was a hell of a ride for me picking the Colts and stuff. Let me just say, from Gardner Minshew to the Anthony Richardson screaming meme from Gridiron Heights, it's just not going to be the same. I mean, he doesn't have the baby voice that they were going to do on there. He's going to have the regular voice now. And truly, after one season, I think I've also matured and realized that the Colts aren't it. I just don't think Anthony Richardson's that guy, especially after the injury. I feel like I've seen the preseason action. It just doesn't look like he's throwing. He doesn't look comfortable. I don't know. I just have my hesitations about the guy and his whole history record of injuries. I mean, for God's sakes, he started what 3-4 games and he couldn't finish any of them. So I do have a lot of hesitations, and I have a lot more hesitations on the Colts just because they're relying on the eliteness of Joe Flacco to come in whenever Anthony Richardson does fall apart. I mean, they do have a backup plan for him to leave. I'm surprised they let Gardner Minshew go in the first place because that was a pretty good goddamn backup plan, and I would have a lot more better confidence in this take in saying that the Colts have a chance, but they don't. I mean, we talked about all the offensive things that Houston has, and let's just add on to the fact that they got Danielle Hunter from Minnesota to add on to the defense, one of the top five. You want to talk about unappreciated players on defense, Christian? How about Danielle Hunter from the Vikings? He's right there too, I feel like. This is going to be a guy that's probably going to pop off in Houston once they get an actual playoff run. So I'm going with Houston as well. And I think even with Colby coming on here, this will probably be a true and through squad ride. So I'm glad that we don't have any debate on that because personally, I just don't have that much faith in the Colts. I mean, sure, they had a solid outing on defense once they lost Hassan Reddick. It looks like every team's doing better off without him besides the Jets. Who would have figured? And yeah, I just think the Texans are just in a better spot. All right, moving on. We're going to go ahead and take it on to, as well as save that last home dog for last at 1 o'clock, of course, and go push this on to a rivalry game. Oh, here we go. Week one rivalry. and it's none other than the Panthers at the Saints. That's an NFC South rivalry, if I am correct, and that goes to you, Lou, who's already getting the torch here first. So the Saints are a home favorite by 3.5 points. What do you think of those disgusting Saints? Do they actually deserve that line, or do you even think they're disgusting? I don't know. That's just me. Maybe I'm just the guy that hates them that much.
Oh no, I'm right there with you, Jalen. I mean, this game is gross. Like, I looked at
I
this
wouldn't say
game when
gross.
I
I think
was.
there's an outlier.
It's pretty gross. It's. I mean, I have a very strong hatred for the Saints, so it would I would love nothing more than to see them lose to the Panthers at home week one. And I think 3.5 is a juicy little line to take on what I think is going to be an improved Panthers team. I think bringing in Deontay Johnson is big time for Bryce Young. And I mean, look at last year, Adam Thielen, his old
Washed
that
up
old
man.
washed up man went for 1,000 yards, bro. So Deontay Johnson is significantly better than Adam Thielen. I think he's going to be while not like the greatest wide receiver one ever, I think he's going to be a big time upgrade. I think that, frankly, the Saints are just a bad team outside of Alvin Kamara. They don't have Michael Thomas. I don't know who is going to be catching passes from Derek Carr, but he's probably going to overthrow them or miss them anyways, even if they're open. So I think the Panthers do just enough to at least cover, if not win outright. So I think the Bryce Young year two starts off with a bang.
Right. All right. Coming around the corner there. Christian, if I believe my math is correct, you're actually an avid Derek Carr fan, and you actually do believe that he's going to hit and make Chris Olave's career change. Is that what I heard correct?
Panthers plus 3.5. Down. Dennis Allen sucks. This game does not deserve to be talked for. This is going to be a disgusting game.
Oh,
Bryce
not
Young,
our first skip
has,
it game.
this thing. Or are we? What are we talking about here? Like this is disgusting. Let's just take the pick and move it on. Panthers plus 3.5.
Just to clarify things, folks, Christian has the Saints under for the whole season total. That is what, 7.5? So he
Dennis
is
Allen
going
will
under
get
7.
fired by week 8. That man, you mean to tell me this man has been the coach for the Saints for the past 4 years?
It's
Yeah,
I
been
thought this
four
man was only
years
coach
of
for the past
Dennis
2 years.
Smith.
Dennis Allen, you can't even get his
Oh,
name
Dennis
right.
Allen. Oh my God, I can't even get his name right.
Dennis Smith, the NBA player.
Shout out Dennis. DSJ.
So maybe things turn around when Spencer Rattler takes over at some point, but this is if you're betting on this game, I need you to scroll to the bottom of the FanDuel and call that hotline. You should not be betting on this game.
Oh my gosh. All right. So I would hate for this to be a squad ride. I hate that I'm put in the corner like this, but I too believe that Bryce Young will take that second step. Ah, damn it. I really do. I really like Matt. I think
Oh,
Mike.
we're all squad riding on you.
Hang on. I really do believe. I really do believe here. And I did see a Bryce Young poster over this past weekend when I visited Charlotte. It can happen. It can happen, man. Maybe with this new they're literally putting him in the shotgun just to give him some more time to do that. So I feel like just the fact that they're giving him a way better offensive minded coach right now to help guide him. So I'm gonna lean the Panthers here, but I am in full support of what Lou said earlier of just Derek Carr checkdowns to Alvin Kamara all day. I mean, God, that's the only reason why I drafted him as my second running back. I really do think Alvin Kamara, that was a cheat. That's finally a cheat. That's been a thorn in my side that I can finally own. So that's gonna be nice. That's gonna be a nice one to have. So that's gross though, that our first rivalry game is gonna be a squad ride, and then it's also gross that it's the Panthers. Then it's the for those of you that don't know, I was also very high on the Panthers last season, so I don't see this going terribly wrong at all. No, it's not like they lost the number one pick. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the second to last. We're almost there, folks, with the 1 o'clock games. We got two more. This one is our other touchdown line. We only got two other games that are having a touchdown line here. Is the Bills being favored by 6.5 against the Cardinals at home? Folks, I am going to go ahead and say this is prime Kyler Murray. This is prime time Kyler Murray right here, guys. I mean, 6.5 against him. He's the underdog, and it's not what, December? I think that's when his curse kicks in. The Kyler Murray curse kicks in around December.
Call of Duty comes out in November.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, that's why the curse kicks in. And I mean, as long as they haven't given him the beta, and and I hope for dear Lord, I hope he doesn't have the beta. I'm leaning right now, Marvin Harrison being his new shiny toy. Give me the Cardinals to cover this line and maybe upset here. I like adding them onto my potential upset board. So yeah, I really like Arizona in this spot. And just remember, folks, they played very competitive almost every game that they were in last year. And that was with mostly Kyler Murray out. And that was with a rookie coach. So I really do believe what Arizona's cooking. I want to see what we got here. Let's give it a loop.
Give me the Bills.
Keeping it simple.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like Kyler Murray. I think the Cardinals have a better season, but I think a week one matchup in Buffalo is just a tough draw coming off injury, and then Marvin Harrison Jr.'s first game. How's he gonna look? I mean, the Bills' defense is nice, so I don't know. I think Josh Allen is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think just because I know they don't have Diggs and I know they don't have Gabe Davis, but I think Keon Coleman's going to be a dog. I think James Cook's going to have an expanded role this year and he's going to ball out. I think Khalil Shakir is a very underrated receiver for the Bills. I think he's going to have a good year, and same with Dalton Kincaid. I think he's going to break out. So I do think the Bills still have weapons. It's just a matter of can Josh Allen keep some of his interceptions down. But yeah, I think the Bills come out hot week one dub.
All right, all right. So I'm not afraid, but I'll take the stand. As a wise poet once said. Christian, did you already go over your spiel here?
No, I have not.
Mm.
Uh, thank God. Thank God you took the Bills here. I did not want another squad right here on another team. I'm taking the Cardinals plus the 6.5. That is way too many points for an electrifying player for Kyler, who's 1 year post ACL now. So he had a full season under his belt. They did pretty solid. I mean, they have high expectations, but they were able to stay within games last year. Marvin Harrison Jr., we've already talked enough about him. James Conner still there. I think the Cardinals are going to be rejuvenated. I mean, there's been talks of possibly MVP Kyler. I mean, the guys look good. So the Bills, yes, they've lost targets. And isn't this the same exact team that a lot of Bills fans were complaining about last season that didn't have weapons? All they added was Keon Coleman. This is the same exact team that the Bills fans were complaining. They were crying all over Twitter saying, "Oh, we have no weapons. We don't have anyone." When they had Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Yes, did they make bonehead decisions? Yes, did Gabe Davis only pop out like one out of every 4 games? Yes. But those were your wide receiver twos, and now you're in the same situation. Josh Allen is going to have to play hero ball. And as we know, Josh Allen, when he gets mashing all over the buttons, he plays really stupid sometimes. He can make great plays, but there is also that other side of the coin that can really screw your team, essentially. So I'm taking the Cards.
All right, all right. I really thought I would be taking that stand alone, but like I said, the wise words of a poet might have influenced you there. But I like the little Bill spiel there because they did lose a lot. They got a lot to learn now. So I think the Cardinals, they kind of got their identity already settled for them, and just adding a piece like Marvin Harrison might be a huge addition for their gunslinging running little toddler like quarterback. So It's gonna be interesting. I think that's gonna be that's a very interesting line for that type of game. Lou, any final thoughts before we go to the last 1 o'clock game?
No.
Oh, okay. Looks like the bill is finally being passed over to me as I've pushed this game around for so long and made it our last one. It is the worst quarterback matchup of the day. It is going to be the Minnesota Vikings going to the New York Giants. Sam Darnold returning to the place where he saw ghosts against Daniel Jones. The line is not great. Even this is probably this is the closest line of the day of the whole weekend. Even Vegas doesn't like it. It's going to be the Vikings are 1.5 point favorites on the road against the Giants. And even a safety will win them this game if they have to. I'm gonna let you guys go first on this one. I need a moment to gather my thoughts on my Vikings here. This is about to get a little intense, bro. I'm hoping I'm gonna have to turn it down a little bit. So you can
I can go first. This game is gross. I don't really have much to say about it. I think Malik Neighbors is a dog, LSU boy. Um, I just can't I can't bet on Sam Darnold, dude. He is so cheats. So is Daniel Jones. And the Giants are just a mess. I mean, losing Saquon is bad. Justin Jefferson is also still there. So that's the one sliver of hope I'd say I have towards the Vikings, but I don't know. Give me the Giants. I'm sorry, Jalen.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Going with the Giants, the home dog. That's fine. That's fine. It's a fun pick. There's only two of them. There's only two home dogs. So you got to pick one of them eventually. Cristian?
I will be on the Minnesota Vikings -1.5 here. I understand the concerns of Sam Darnold. However, he does have Jay Jetta here. He actually has a really good wide receiver he can throw to once. I mean, can we name a number one wide receiver that Sam Darnold threw to when he was at New York, when he was at Carolina? Yes, he backed up at San Fran, but he didn't really get anything there. Like, I think Sam is gonna actually come out really good. He'll have a really solid season. The Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are dead here. I truly think Sam Darnold is gonna be put in a position where he could actually show off pretty good numbers. More like kind of like a Joe Flacco kind of vibes from last year is what I'm getting at. And then the other side of the ball, you have Daniel Jones, and that's Malik Neighbors might quit. I think probably by week 3. That if anyone saw a clip that came out of Giants training camp today, where they had the jugs machine, and the jugs machine was underthrowing the passes, that's just bad vibes. Right there. You can't have the jugs machine underthrowing throws. Yeah, and this is a disgusting game. But I think the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to surprise people here. Give me them more -1.5.
All right, okay. Well, might cushion the blow a little bit here, but look, Sam Darnold. It's hard to get enthusiastic when your quarterback is Sam Darnold on the season. That's just hard. That's just a hard pill to take to begin with. My thing here is Jordan Addison. Hopefully he gets his head square on and we get to play that. We get to actually use him for the week 1 game. But I think we'll be okay and everything, whether or not, because you're right. We got Justin Jefferson. There's no Hawkins in this game. He's out for for several weeks, I'm pretty sure. So it's going to be a real test. I mean, I don't see Aaron Jones, and I'm not excited when I watch Aaron Jones. But more importantly, what do the Giants have that the Vikings don't? I genuinely couldn't tell you. I genuinely couldn't tell you. I feel like there's a reason why this game in this line, the over under on this line is like below or right on 40 points, probably right damn near it. Not great. That's not great. I would not want to watch that game. But I will. I guarantee you I will. And I will be rooting for my Vikings, of course, all the way through. I'm just surprised that we are a road favorite in this situation. I think that's just the more surprising thing to me, but who knows? Maybe we can maybe we steal that upset. Not upset, but the road dub, it looks like. And that it's just insane to me, honestly, that people are that far off on Daniel Jones that they're gonna sway it over to Sam Darnold. That's just okay. I'll take that and we'll run. Um, it is time. We got 4 o'clock games, and of course the 2 prime time remaining. Here we go. We got the Raiders at the Chargers. Chargers 3-point favorites. Let's go ahead, Christian. You go ahead and you get the first shot at these 4 o'clock games. Look, that's
This is going to be a very under game. The Chargers Raiders, I could see it. I think Chargers win this game, but I do think the Raiders covered at 3. With AP, there's rejuvenized type of locker room environment. Devontae Adams did come out today saying he has seen the comments that Charger players are making. I do see Devontae Adams kind of a revenge game here. I think the Raiders cover. I think the Chargers start out slow, especially considering they have no one to catch the ball, and they're going to be run heavy with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. And it's also this certain individual here who's in the background here of Greg Roman, who is calling the plays here. He makes his return since being canned by Baltimore. I already know the plays are going to be drawn up. If you see the first 10 plays, you're good. You'll be solid for the rest of the game, unless he throws out a flea flicker to your wide receiver 3 to throw in the end zone and get picked off. That was not fun. So have fun, Chargers. I think, like I said, I think it'll be slow, but we'll get there eventually.
ooh, what are your thoughts?
I actually like the Chargers wide receivers. I think Ladd and Josh Palmer are gonna
Ooh.
both have good seasons. Um, I think it's a little bit of it's a nice little youth infusion, but I also think that they have a run heavy head coach. And last time he coached in the NFL, his San Francisco Niners teams were ranked no better than I think 27th or 28th in QB pass attempts. So I think we're going to see a down year out of our boy Justin Herbert, unfortunately. And I mean, they've got a good set of running backs, albeit some of them are unproven. It's kind of a big old cluster and of random RBs in there, but I don't know. I think the Raiders are a mess. Devontae Adams talked about it on that Netflix show. He's not a happy camper, and it's hard for me to trust them. I think Gardner Minshew will win them a few games this year, but not this one. Give me the Chargers.
Interesting. Okay. Um, so my thoughts on this game are pretty in my opinion, this was an easy one, folks. If I had to be quite honest myself. I currently think that the Raiders are one of the most slept on teams still in this league. I mean, you got Devontae Adams. I feel like you got emerging running back is Zamir White. You have a guy that's got in defense that's clearly one of the top defensive players and one of the candidates for defensive player of the year, Max Crosby. In my mind, and you got a guy with Antonio Pierce that got this thing going. I think that the Raiders being a favorite right here, I think it's just saying that they're just trying to tease me here. I really do. I'm taking the Raiders line here to cover. I'm not, you can go over the facts like, yes, it's going to be a slow process with the Chargers and everything. Lou, I think it's going to be a struggle, man. I think it's going to be a rough struggle for these Chargers. I think they're not going to be able to find those. I feel like, sure, they're going to have some good rookie highlight moments with this young, or Josh Palmer is going to have a couple good plays, but I really think that the Raiders here. Now, I mean, Gardner Minshew. I mean, he beat out Aiden O'Connell. I mean, come on. I mean, that's an elite quarterback battle right there in itself. I'm going to go ahead and take the Raiders on this one, and I think Gardner. He's gonna maybe reinvigorate. There we go. Devontae Adams and how he feels about everything, and at Las Vegas. All right. I'll go ahead and oh wait, actually I can't. I won't go ahead because I promised that Christian will go first. It's gonna be the Broncos at Seattle. Seattle is a 5.5 point favorite. This is the last big one and everything. We got that's just incredible. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks 5.5 point favorite. Christian, I'm just gonna let you go ahead and take that.
Seattle minus 5.5 here. Like this is like it's a clinical waiting to be happening. Mike McDonald, I wish him the best. Like I love that man. That man revolutionized the defense. He's gonna drop some linemen in the coverage. It's gonna absolute full Bo Mix. Like, what are we talking? Rookie quarterback against an absolute defensive mastermind here. It's gonna be a low scoring game, but I think Bo gets rattled. Give me Seattle minus 5.5.
I think I'm going to step in here real quick, actually, before you go, Lou. I think Tom Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback, is very interesting right off the bat, just because of how many years that man has played in college. I really do have some things to say about the Broncos in this whole situation. I mean, for God's sakes, we were calling this pick the moment they lost their season last season. I mean, we knew it was over, and we were already saying Bo Nix looks like a Sean Payton type of guy. And guess what? He got him. I truly think that if all things go as my nightmare predicts, Broncos will cover this game. I think Bo Nix will put up a solid outing, and I think Sean Payton will find a way to try his influence one last time in these next couple of seasons with Bo Nix. I, of course, am going to pray that it doesn't work, but you do have to know Smith on the other side of that ball, Christian. I mean, let's not forget that. I mean, yes, the defense is going to be outstanding. I expect this game to be actually more gross. And it's just as gross probably as the Vikings one. But I'm gonna go with the Broncos covering on this one. 5.5. It's a pretty big line for good old Gino. I think he's gonna keep it close. So I'm gonna go with Denver. Lou?
I agree with Christian. Although I do like Bo Nix, I just saw he was named captain or one of the captains. I think he has a better season than people might expect, but
Drew's
the
guy.
Seahawks are gonna dog them week one. I'm sorry. It's
All
in
right.
Seattle, correct? Yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm. All right. That's a
yeah.
fair that's a very fair way. Before we wrap up this Zoom 2, it sounded like Lou already got hit with Zoom 2 struggles at the beginning there. Lou, don't worry. Here on this podcast, we have a good time with Zoom 2, and now you're going to get it hit with it with Zoom 3 as well, where we actually just don't enjoy being on Zoom 2 and 3. It just the transition's always rough. Um, it's just that you're welcome to the club, buddy. You got hit with it just like all of us. But that's not the important thing. The more important thing is I actually got a couple squad rides here, updates for you. We only have two right now. As Colby came in, he put us in check in the Baltimore and Chiefs game. He said that he went with Kansas City. He obviously went with Pittsburgh for the Steelers Falcons game. And he destroyed, and I called this one, he did pick the Jaguars over the Dolphins. So our only two squad rides right now are now the Texans and Panthers. He agreed to
I'll
both of
take that.
those. He
I'll
actually
take
agreed
that.
with that. So two is actually a good number for us. The higher, the worse, the lower, the better is what we learned. All right. And we'll see you on Zoom 3, it looks like. All right, here we go. We got our last two games here on the Zoom game see, look at that. Already fumbling on Zoom 3. Going great. I mean, see, Lou, you're already a part of it. We got two more 4 o'clock games and then two primetime games. And so this is troublesome twos here. We got Cowboys at Cleveland, and get this. Cleveland is a 2.5 point favorite. And we got the Cowboys coming in after an all-in season, Christian. They were an underdog to start it off. You are still our 4 o'clock first person go first. So what do you got?
What are we talking about here? Why are the Cowboys like what does Vegas know is my question here. Because the Browns, they have Deshaun Watson at quarterback. Yes, he showed flashes last year before he ultimately got a season-end injury. But the guy's not good. The guy's not good here. All right. Give me the boys. Plus 2.5. Like, what are we talking about here?
I'll let you go on this one. This is actually an emotional one for me.
Yeah, I agree with Christian. I don't really care for Deshaun Watson. I think I like us some other guys on the Browns. Um, Obviously they don't have Nick Chubb, so that's a big factor in this game as well. I mean, Miles Garrett's going to be a dog, but I, I don't care that the Cowboys got smoked by the Packers. They still are a top team in the NFC. And for them to be 2.5 point underdogs to the Browns is insane to me. I mean, like Christian said, Vegas knows something, I guess, and I'm gonna be slamming the Cowboys. Don't tell Chan or Blake, but I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. Give me
I
the
mean,
Cowboys.
look here, guys. I can tell you what Vegas knows. Vegas knows that it is a very shaky it's a very shaking run offense on the Dallas Cowboys. You already lost Bland, but you're getting Diggs back off of a harsh injury. It's going to be an interesting start, and they're going to be switching up coordinators on the defensive side with Mike Zimmer being there. I don't know how that's going to translate being a Mike Zimmer guy that had to deal with Mike Zimmer for years. I think it's going to be a little bit more rough patches than people expect. I mean, sure, they're bringing in Eric Kendricks to help out with the defensive side of things, but I'm going to be leaning with the team that I've called ankle biters last season and turned out to be biting people in their kneecaps, just like the Lions. You know what? Dare I say, are they coming for the chest? Dare I say it? Christian, dare I say it? That the two teams that we're missing out when we're talking AFC North football, it's actually the Ravens and Browns. I really do think it's good. Yeah, yeah. But that's something's pushing you back. Yeah. I mean, with that Browns defense, well, what am I missing here? I mean, yeah, sure. Joe Flacco came in and he was supposedly doing better than Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson's still on the uprising. You know, he played solid. We just weren't expecting greatness like we used to see. And I think that's all they need. That's all they're asking for him. They brought in Kareem Hunt for one more time. Well, Nick Chubb is out, and they're going to pretty much try and replicate everything that they've done. Do I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be a uprising X factor for them? No, but I do think that Amari Cooper still being there is going to help, and so I'm going to say that they still got decent weapons. I don't see the problem with the Browns, especially when you consider the fact that in a couple weeks you're getting Nick Chubb back into the equation. You're probably going to be having that assistance for Deshaun Watson too. I think I see why Vegas has the Browns favored. I'm going with Cleveland -2.5. All right. Any final thoughts on that one? Christian, you were taken aback there. I think you're just going to let that one stew, huh?
Yeah, we'll just let that one too.
Oh yeah, you see, you just love it when I root for your Ravens, but I still have to give the Browns respect just because they're the Browns. And then Colby gives you the Bengals and Steelers. It all comes around here, you know. It all comes around, and everyone loves to talk about the teams that beat up on my Vikings. It's all beautiful. And Lou, we get to talk about your division one last time. I did foreshadow this at first. Let's see if you have good memory. As we're gonna switch it up here. Actually, no, let's keep it true and through here. Actually, I'll just go last. Lou, we got the Commanders and Bucks. The Bucks are hosting as their 3.5 point favorites. I'll let you get your thoughts ready while Christian goes and unveils, hopefully, his love for Baker Mayfield, or is it going to go to a new uprising rookie, the Heisman favorite? What are you thinking, Christian?
This is a tough one. The Bucks. Ah, it's because the line's at 3.5. If it was 2.5, I'm all over Tampa. But with the hook being there at 3.5, and I can see this be a field goal game, it's leaning towards the commies. And I think
Oh,
I'm gonna have to take the commies because of the hook. I still think the Bucks win, but I think the commies are gonna hang in there, and Jaden Daniels is gonna have a good start to the season. I will say. I mean, possibly see a rushing touchdown out of him. So I'll be taking the commies, even though I don't like this pick. That's where I'm leaning.
Okay. Lou, what do you got?
Jaden Daniels will be a top 7 fantasy football quarterback at the end of the season.
Ooh,
Jaden Daniels,
swinging. Hold on now.
Jaden Daniels
Let me write this down.
will be a
What is
top 15 quarterback by the end of the season. We'll go light on that one.
on fantasy, right? We're talking fantasy football. That's what you said.
No,
Oh, you're talking
top
just in general.
in general.
Okay. So that
Big
means you're calling him into the realm of your own quarterback, Kirk Cousins. You know that, right?
I was a big proponent of the Falcons drafting Jaden Daniels or trying to trade up to get him. Didn't happen. I think he's going to be a stud. He's always been a very accurate passer, and he can run it. I mean, he just brings a new style of football to this Washington team that is going to inject some life in a sad, sad fan base. And I don't think they make playoffs or anything, but I think they have a better season than people think, and I think they're playing a lot of close games, and I think they beat the Bucks week 1.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, that is a very fair take. I'm going to go ahead here. I'm not even going with the line. I'm going with my heart. And my heart is easily telling me that I'm going with the Bucks here. I mean, come on, folks. This is Baker. He's finally found his home. Let's think of this storyline. He's found his home and he's found himself a team that's giving him and letting him keep his good weapons without the drama. They're literally copy and paste what they did last season. And you know what? There's less drama around the Bucks because of that. I honestly think that's one of the key components for them to go forward. Maybe they can be a true threat going forward here. I still think they're an NFC South favorite. In my opinion, this is the team that's going to challenge the Falcons. And to begin that quest, you got to at least take care of the rookie quarterback and everything. Because if you can take care of this kid, oh, you're going to strike some fear into those Falcons owners. They're going to keep Kirk Cousins on the line as long as possible at that rate. So, and shoot, maybe they'll hold off on Penix for the season. Just watching the beatdown that you can do on Jaden McDaniels. So I'm going with I'm going with my gut here in my heart. I'm going with the Bucks, baby. It's Baker in the Bucks. It's easily going to be Baker in the Bucks. He's got all his weapons still. What can go wrong besides the classic bait show? I mean, what can I say? I mean, I think that's just where I see it, honestly. Final thoughts, boys. Awesome. All right. Moving on to prime time. We are wrapping this thing up, boys. We got 2 more games and then, of course, 2 segments, and we're all done. We got the Rams at Lions. This Sunday night football game, as the Lions are home favorites by 3.5. What can I say? Who do I want to give this to besides myself? I want to be greedy here. I want to be the primetime guy for once. I'm going to say, and have all the pressure on me. Watch me get all these primetime games wrong. I'm going to go with the Rams as an upset here. I think they can cover, first of all, offensively. But sure, they got the hole on defense. Christian mentioned this earlier in last episode. They got a lot of young guys and everything. It's going to be an interesting defense. Someone's got to step up. I'm going to see the Rams, and I'm going to see if they can pull this thing together. Let's go with Lou. Make Christian think a lot before he gets the favoritism for his locks here.
I love the Lions. I love watching them play. I love Amon Ra. I've got questions about Jamison Williams coming in as the wide receiver 2. I know there's some hype behind him, but he just hasn't shown it. I mean, he was healthy last year, he didn't show it. I mean, regardless, I think Sam Laporte is the second target there anyways, so it doesn't really matter. And Jahmyr Gibbs is probably wide receiver 3, so I guess you don't really need him. And the Lions are going to be very, very good again this year, but I like the Rams. I think they're underrated. I think 3.5 points is too much for what I think could be a game decided by a field goal. I mean, I think Cooper Kupp's going to have a resurgent year, and then having him and Puka side by side is pretty nasty. Um, I know their defense is young, but I think Matt Stafford's going to come in against his old team and keep it close, if not win. So give me the Rams.
Dun, dun, dun. Christian. Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun, dun.
really do like the Lions. I really do. I love Dan Campbell's thought process, fourth down. However,
There it
we
is.
have a nice, rejuvenated team that I think Matthew Stafford could possibly have an MVP season. He has Puka, he has Cooper, he has Kyron, he has weapons here. He's going back to Detroit without the wife and kids this time. The wife and kids could have been a distraction last time. We're looking at a full off season that he had to think about it and get mentally prepared to get into Detroit. It was his first time in Detroit. He played pretty freaking solid. So I think this is going to be a nice, great Sunday night football game to start off the season. But I do think the Rams pull off the upset here as well. Give me the plus 3.5.
Just texted Colby to see if he could save the squad ride. We'll see what he responds with. This is interesting. No one going with Dan Campbell. That's why I was playing the Jaws theme there. I truly think the Lions have a very easy option here. I mean, Lou, you said it yourself. I mean, they got options galore on offense. It just all depends on how they all put it together. So, and Colby did, in fact, stop the squad ride as he comes in with a quick response saying that he is going with the Lions minus 3.5 as I was talking about him. So, all is fair in love and war. Colby will be taking the underdog. I'm taking the favorite on that one. He said Rams are going to miss Aaron Donald in the middle, and that was my counterpoint to begin with. So, gee, if only he was on here, right? All right. Anyways, Monday night, the guy that the Jets probably were saying, that's probably what the Jets were saying a lot last season. Gee, if only he was here, about Aaron Rodgers, as they are going to play against the 49ers. And no, the 49ers aren't the team that injured Aaron Rodgers. No, sir. But they did sign the guy that did injure him for the whole season. So we got the Niners being the home favorites by 4.5. Let me just say, all this drama, all this, I really just don't like it. What's going on with San Francisco? It just smells like this is a good game for the Jets to bounce back on with Rodgers and all that. I'm going to take the Jets. Brees Hall is obviously my number one pick that I went with this season on fantasy. So this is going to be the team that I'm probably going to be very high on and talking shit on the most. It's because I got a guy that I highly invested in. I'm going to be straightforward on it. So let's get the season off right. 4.5 points on the team that dealt with a lot of offseason drama. I'll take that with the Jets. I mean, the drama was, where's my quarterback? Oh, wait, there he is. Versus, where's my receiver? My lineman. I mean, what else do you have? I mean, the other receiver, the rookie receiver, Ricky Purcell. Hopefully he is okay to start. First of all, I don't want to joke about his injury and him getting shot, but I mean, literally, that's the so poorly. I mean, so unfortunate. So give me the Jets and everything before I start getting a little depressing here on a fun night of football. Louis.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Jets have a decent year this year. Um, I love Garrett Wilson. Also have him in fantasy.
Yeah, I'm seeing
I
a trend
like
right now.
I like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's gonna sling it around and bring some life to this Jets team that they didn't have last year with good old Zach Wilson. But I mean, they're running into a juggernaut, a wrecking ball of a team. The Niners, they can't beat the Chiefs, but they can beat everyone else. And I think the Jets get off to a slow start this year with a lot of hype coming in. And yeah, that's it. Niners. Niners.
Oh, here we go. Niners. All right, Christian, no squad ride to worry about.
No squad ride to worry about. Where do I start? We're talking about the boogeyman, the man that rises from California, the man who's arguably a top 5 quarterback of all time. The
God, no
man,
way you're starting that speech.
the man ceases to have made the literally some of the greatest throws in NFL history. I think the Jets. I'm full on the Kool-Aid. I am drinking it down. Even though the worry is the same as well with Kirk, is the slow start due to the Achilles coming off of age. Yes, that is there. They might start off slow, but I think the Jets pull it off. A-Rod is 6-3 against the 49ers. So as you remember, they are the team that did pass up on him when they picked Alex Smith all those years ago. And as we know, Aaron Rodgers is a petty dude. He always keeps on the grudges. But that
Yes, he
always plays in
is.
the back of mind when playing against the Niners. This is gonna be another banger of a game. And I think A-Rod pulls it in as a dog too. Give me the Jets here. And I have a great statistic here that I think is worthwhile to hear. Since 2000, the loser of the Super Bowl is 5-19 against the spread in week 1. That's a very significant number right there. So give me the Jets.
All right, all right. Every game, folks, is down. That is only mean there's only two things left to do here, folks. Technically three, but there's two main things here on the slate. We got, oh man, this is just a sentence I've been waiting to say. Christian, it's time to see what this dues list is all about, man. I mean, goodness gracious. The playoffs were rough, let's be honest. Playoffs were a little rough, but we're here. It's a new season. Let's get on a good note. We already got Derrick Henry on our celebratory dues list here.
Yeah.
I think they are, yeah, just Derrick Henry in general. So, Christian,
I'll
who's
throw
the
out
dude?
another celebratory one for the Friday game, as that is a standalone game. This one's a solo. This is not part of the official Dares list, but this is like a celebratory pick. I'm taking Saquon. Saquon on a new team, had the gratification to score with his hometown favorite team that he grew up with in the Pennsylvania area. Give me Saquon. I think that was at minus. No, I think actually it was plus money if I'm not mistaken. Last time I checked. Double check that real quick. I
That's
have it
how
right
strong
here.
that Packers defense, your
Yep.
reasonable take was. Can't wait for Colby to fucking roast me on that one. Thanks a lot.
Saquon is minus 135. So not the highest of value, but that is probably what I'm taking.
I'll take
Now
it.
to main event here. Oh, we're back. And as everyone knows, I do have a very strong record of week 1. I think I've hit week 1 on Dares Due like the past like 4 years. After
Oh,
that, then
streak.
we get a little bit shaky. So the trend is continue on the line again here, and I really do like this one. This one I cooked up all week. I was sitting on it, sitting on the toilet, at work, wherever. I've been thinking about it all week because this is my money maker. This is how I get my FanDuel from like $5 all the way to 1,000 at points. Honestly, these hit the most random points. So first, we're going to go to a man I mentioned earlier that this team needs to give the ball to win the game. This man the message needs to be put across. If you want to win, you have to give this man the ball in the red zone. We're going to Bijan Robinson at minus
Mm.
115 in the Steelers Falcons game first. Like that needs to be established. No if, what's, and about it. That man has to be in the end zone if you want to win. Second game, we are going to the Cardinals and Bills game, which is going to be electric. And I think this guy comes out with a rushing TD, which is our highest odds at plus 300. Give me Kyler Murray to run
Oh,
one
yeah.
in.
Wow.
Give me that. The scramble out the
Wow.
pocket, out of sorts. And we forget
That's
Kyler
beautiful.
was a rushing touchdown machine. It seemed like every week that man was getting a rushing touchdown because he's running for his life. So we're
He's a
back
toddler.
at it post ACL. Give me the Kyler Murray train there. And then last one, we go to the primetime game in Sunday Night Football. We go to the man who was truly Matthew Stafford's wide receiver one that he relied on in the offensive player of the year he had. Give me Cooper Kupp to officially make "I'm back" statement. So we have all three of those lads, and that will get you out to the odds, if I'm not mistaken, like plus 130 something. If last time I checked, let's see what the live odds are at. If I pull up Cooper Kupp really quick, that is at plus 1,582. $10 gets you $158.
82. Beautiful. Well, as always, here we go. I have to get my short little glaze segment here about the views list here. Bijan Robinson should have his fill of touchdowns this season, unless they finally found a way to get Tyler Algier to not touchdown vulture them.
I swear to God, if I see Tyler Algier on that field, I am going to throw hands at my monitor. We cannot do this again.
I agree. Trust me, I agree. But Kirk Cousins know how to get the ball to Bijan Robinson. I feel like he knew how to access and use Dalvin Cook. Same thing's going to be happening with Bijan. Kyler Murray, though, is a very fun one, I feel like, especially being at plus 300. You get the running toddler on those odds against another running quarterback. And the team, I thought at first you were going to go with James Conner. I thought you were going to lean into him until you said Kyler Murray. That's when I was like, oh, shit, that's even spicier. Just because of the fact that
used to be
it
like
makes
plus
sense.
100. Like, that used to be every single week thing.
Exactly. That is a proficient way for him to score. And I feel like that's not going anywhere for any time soon, despite the injury. And Cooper Kupp, I mean, guy carried my team for 2 seasons. Thank you. That's all I can say. You were the only good thing that I had for a long time. So, thank you, Cooper Kupp. I look forward to seeing your success on another team, and hopefully that curse is off my shoulders. Lou, do you have any glaze for this list? I know you actually wanted to be here to see this happen.
Bijan, a Bijan touchdown is my favorite bet of week one. They've talked all off season about using him in a Christian McCaffrey type role, and I think that's exactly the way they need to use him. The only concern is they did come out and say that Tyler Algier will have a big role in the offense. How big, I don't know. But if Bijan does not have a majority of the touches at the running back position, I don't know if I can handle it.
And I hate to cut you off, Lou, before you continue your glaze here, but he is coming in right now, right as we finish the dues list, making sure that Christian doesn't get a full-on advantage against him. It's Colby Johnson, folks, everybody. He made it.
Hello.
What are you doing?
Hello. Sorry, this was a lot going on. I'm glad I made it for the end. I apologize. This was so much later than I thought, but I'm glad I could tag in for the very end.
Oh yeah, we just are done wrapping up the dues list. Christian came up with a great one for week one. We got Bijan, Tyler, and Cooper Kupp, Colby.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like those.
See, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was about to say, why when you hear those names, those are all good ones. Lou, do you have any final thoughts on that, or are you ready to get to our final segment?
I think it's juicy. Let's get to the final segment.
Yes, sir. All right. So, everyone, this is the moment you've been waiting for, the one that matters the most here on this episode. It is time for the locks and the upsets, everyone. This is it. This is it. Yeah, you came in right on time, Colby.
Perfect. I was at least wanted to get my locks in, so I'm glad. I didn't know if y'all would still be going, but I'm glad y'all were still going.
Oh, yeah. No, we got this perfectly planned out. So, here we go. Christian, the reigning champion. Go ahead, get your first initial locks in after winning the Fantasy Football League and winning this segment.
Great year for you.
Yeah, I was about to say, in a sound order, too. I mean, there was no competition. So, Christian, who is the number 1, 1.1, the first lock of the season? No pressure at
First
all.
lock of the. Here we go. We're going with the Texans -2.5. We're taking that off the board immediately.
Cheeky, very cheeky man. No, I don't disagree with that take at all. Colby, you did beat me out, I'm pretty sure, at the end of the season, even though we came close to a tie, but you separated in the last 2 weeks. So that goes to you, number 2.
Yeah, I've got the records here, Jalen. By the way, you were exactly 500 last year, so shout out to you.
I forgot about
26 and 1. So great job.
Oh,
All right. I mean, I don't want to be too much of a homer because I don't really believe in them that much overall. But of course, I don't know what y'all are all picking Atlanta plus -3.5. What are you kidding me? This is Mike Tomlin is a dog. It's just you just take him every time he's an underdog. That's what he does. He doesn't win the games when he's a favorites. When he's a dog, he wins or covers. So yeah, if I'm getting 3.5, I'll take the Steelers. Thank you very much.
yes, sir. Oh, this is what we've been missing. Oh my goodness. And good to have you back. Lou, as you heard him, I only went 500 last season, and I was writing this board out. I was thinking I don't deserve to go before you. I think you can have a good solid chance to go above 500, and it's only fair. So, Lou, what is your pick?
I was hoping you would go before me. I was curious to see who you'd take, but looking through, man, oh man. All right. The pick is in. Give me the Dallas Cowboys coming into Cleveland. I mean, come on. Deshaun Watson. I don't care that Ezekiel Elliott is their RB1.
It's not. That's a good pick.
It's not a
I
good
had the
sentence
Cowboys
to end
5
on.
more. But yeah, that is wild that Zeke is RB1.
Not a great sentence to end on, if you ask me.
I think side note, I think Rico Dowdle is going to be their RB1 by the end of the season.
Well, let's hope, because the other two guys are aging.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm in a very interesting spot, one that I did not expect to be in. I'll go ahead and say this, though. I'm going to take the homer pick right off the bat. I got a lot of confidence here. Oh, man, he's gone. I got a lot of confidence here, and I'm going to go with Minnesota Vikings over the Giants. I really think that it's a big surprise that we're favorites. I believe we could pull it off. I'm very strong. I'm very strong in that thought just because I think we got more than the Giants do on both sides of the ball. So it would just take a complete outclass in the master class coaching job of Brian Daboll over my guy. And I just don't think that's going to happen. All right, Christian, back to you.
We're not sneaking.
You want, that's how, I forgot. That's how we do it. All right. So go again for number 4 over here. I did not expect to be back on the board. This is quite a turn of events, but I do have another one that I'm going to take with as another classic homer pick that I just have a lot of faith in, and that is going to be. I'm going to take the Dolphins here. I think that was just an easy one for me to go with. I'll go with the Dolphins, and I think that's just the way it is. If you ask me, I think their offense is going to be catching the Jaguars. Not by surprise, because I think they're going to see it coming for only a brief second. And that's how fast they are. So I don't know if you caught that, Lou. But anyways, it's your turn.
I'm going to take another 4 o'clock game. Give me the Seattle Seahawks at 5.5.
That's a big line. It's a big line on week 1. Are you sure? Just putting that out there. Colby, what do you got?
Yeah. Sorry, Jalen. What was your first pick? Because my laptop bugged out on me for a second. The toaster.
No, we saw you. We saw you drop out. I got all right.
Not great.
You got Dallas right from Lou.
Yeah.
All right, and I went Minnesota and Miami.
Okay, I got the Miami one. I just missed the Vikings. What's the line on the Vikings?
Vikings line is -1.5. So just win the ball game.
Oh yeah, that's y'all got the worst game of the weekend.
Yes, sir, we do. Well, I need to send you the pick'ems. Yeah, I need to send you the pick'ems because we do. All right, and it's your go.
Well, I'll save my other pick because I didn't know none of y'all are going to make it. I'll take the Packers plus 2.5. It scares me a little bit that it's in Brazil. it's just weird vibes. But I
That's what I
don't
said.
understand this line at all. Like, I don't get how are the Eagles favored when they're depending on. And look, I think they made smart moves in the offseason, but they're depending on rookie corners. The Packers have a great receiving core. It's gonna be tough for rookie corners in their first game. So I just think matchup wise, I really like that edge for the Packers. So I'm gonna take Green Bay plus the 2.5.
This is so beautiful. It's our first 50-50 game right there. First time in Showtime history.
The show history. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Christian, back to back here.
Colby, I agree with all those points. That's what I made earlier a lot with that. First one, I'm going with Los Angeles Rams plus 3.5 as a lock there. And then the second pick, oh God, do I make the disgusting one? Or do I go with the one
Or
that
the
I
cursed one.
like?
I think you go with the cursed one here. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, this is disgusting. I never would have thought I'd put this as a lock. Give me the Carolina Panthers. It's plus 3.5.
Two squad rides.
Cursed one. I was gonna say you call it the
There's
cursed
no
one.
way
That's
that's
what it
gonna
is.
work. No way. Probably bet the Saints. All of us like that's crazy.
You can go wrong. Go wrong. A squad ride with 4 people, and you have them as a block.
That's
Let's
disgusting.
go.
That is so disgusting.
I told you that's a cursed object right there. All right, Colby, what is your final pick here?
All right, final pick. I'm actually challenge you, Jalen. I told you earlier, I like the Jags this week a lot against Miami. I'm getting 3.5. I get the better quarterback. I get the well, maybe not the better coach, but I think it's an even coaching matchup. I'm not a big Miami. I mean, I was skeptical of Miami all year last year. I'm just very skeptical of Miami. I think the Jags last year ended so rough, but I'm still believing them. So I like Jacksonville getting 3.5 in what I feel like is a pretty even matchup. I'm going all dogs for week 1.
I like it. That's a different pace for you right there. That's a different pace. I like that. Different drum to the beat, or beat to the drum. There you go. Lou, what do you got? Final pick.
Man, I'm torn on this one. Man, tough.
You could
But
challenge someone.
I'm gonna go with the cheeky pick. Give me the Commanders at plus 3.5.
Ooh, interesting.
I think Jaden Daniels is legit, and I think they keep it interesting, if not win.
Gosh darn it, Lou. You're gonna make me want to challenge you, man. I'm not gonna lie. Oh man, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold off on that. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put this out there. Where are we at, guys? Where are we right now? This is 2024. About to start the football season.
Oh,
We haven't even talked about a football guy. A guy that's on the quarterback position that just can let it go whenever he wants, puts his body on the line, has a football player as his coach as well. And yet, not even the best player on his team because his wide receiver and defensive lineman is. Raiders upsetting the Chargers. I'm going with that as a lock, baby. I mean, come on. Raiders by 3, and I can get a potential push. I'll take it. Give me the Raiders. Give me the Raiders for a potential push. I'll be fine with that. It is now our second to last segment, and it's very brief. It's time for the upsets. You can also double down on this part if you have an upset as your lock. Colby, I'm going to consider that your Jags pick because you're the only one that went with the Jags to be an automatic upset. That is your upset pick right there.
Good with me. Love the Jags week.
Yep, save us some breath and save us some time. Let's see. I'm trying to check and see. I think Christian, you are the one with the Rams. Even though we all went Rams, you are the one that put them on there. Do you want the double down on the Rams?
I'll double down.
He's doubling down. And then Lou, you went with Dallas. Do you want to double down on Dallas or the Commanders?
Hammer it. Dallas.
Double down on Dallas.
Don't tell Chan I said that.
Well, I mean, he's happy. You're rooting for his team to at least cover. I mean, that's very honorable right there in itself.
I know, but he can't know that.
Man. I know I just said we were trying to save air here, but I'm going to go ahead and also double down on the Raiders just for the hell of it. All right. So it is time for our most illustrious, with 3 minutes, and with
Illustrious.
4
Ooh,
people, our most
okay.
illustrious segment. This is going to be a speed drill, everybody. I'm talking like 30 seconds max. It is time for, and Colby, you know what's coming. Christian knows what's coming. It's our final thoughts. Kick us off, Christian.
Final thoughts here. College football's in full swing. We have that aspect right now. It's been electric. I mean, some of us saw JMU beat Charlotte last week, even though the fans shout out the ones that were Shane scoreboard up 7-3. Glad you guys got your 1 quarter of fun. Say hello. But talking about college football, I absolutely love Texas minus 7.5 against Michigan this week. I'm probably gonna take the safe bet. I'm teasing it down to minus 6.5 to get the 1 score of a touchdown. But Texas against Michigan, I think this is a no-brainer. I think Texas is way better than Michigan, especially at this point with their roster.
All right, beautiful. That was very well timed. Lou, hit us with the next one.
I just want to send some best wishes, thoughts, and prayers out to Bryce Harper. He got hit in the arm today, and really hoping for a speedy recovery in time for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Also,
That's
shout
tragic.
out Kyle Schwarber. He hit 3 home runs yesterday, went 5 for 6, hit another one today. Well, 2-game sweep over the Blue Jays. Yeah, looking forward to the MLB playoffs. I know it's not quite as exciting as football season, but
It's up. It's up there. Don't worry. We got
comes
Baltimore Orioles. Just to wrap up the Baltimore segment of your final thought there. You're the first. You're the other baseball guy. You're the first baseball guy in a long time because we only talk about Paul Skeens, Gunnar Henderson, and Adley Rutschman. Those are the only 3 players. So congratulations for adding Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper onto that list. Colby, 1 minute drill. Here we go.
1 minute drill. I mean, yeah, I just gotta, since it's in full football focus now, no one's probably gonna talk about
I think it's
tearing the
Toasters
league
keeping.
up now. Should maybe already a top 5 player. Tonight she had the second ever triple double by a rookie in the history of the league. And she also had the first one ever earlier this year. So she's unbelievable. They're in the playoffs. What a turnaround for her team.
You're a bastard, man, because that was my final thought as well. I really think Caitlin Clark was going to be my final thought. Thank you for watching, everybody. What a good show. And everyone, I'm pretty sure that was some good stuff.